Before we start, a couple of fight announcements. Moses Atama will be fighting Jermaine Franklin January 24th in Manchester. This will be a step-up fight for Moses Atama. Jermaine Franklin is very durable. Now, when Moses Atama destroys him, like he did Dillian White, because I don't think Jermaine Franklin has ever been knocked out, that will be impressive. And then we have Dalton Smith versus Sabri Matias. This should be a war. Dalton Smith is undefeated. And we know Sabri Matias is a monster at 140. Should be a very entertaining fight. It will be in the Barclays Center in New York. And the beginning of 2026 is looking good already. What'd I tell you about this fight? Jerron Boots Ennis, Vergil Ortiz deserve Oscars for hyping people up for this fight. Now, when you talk to people close to Vergil Ortiz, this fight may not happen. At least for right now. Even Robert Garcia, who is Vergil Ortiz's trainer, who should have the most confidence in the world in him, says this fight needs to be marinated. Where do we hear that from? We heard the same thing about the Anthony Joshua-Deontay Wilder fight out of Deontay Wilder's mouth. And what happened? They end up losing, they lost their titles, and the fight was not made. And we're still waiting on that fight. Now, if Jerron Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz lock up now, and one of them loses in a competitive fight, then there's no harm. The loser will build itself back up, then we will do it again. But these days, fighters don't like taking risks, the managers, the promoters don't like taking risks, so we're not getting a fight right now. I don't own the rights to this content, it's for educational purposes only. It seems like Vergil and his team are leaning this way. Let's take a listen to the Vergil Mafia.
It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm gonna be honest, it would be Spence, because that's my dream fight. I've been calling it since
AT&T.
AT&T, there you go, at the Cowboys Stadium, and I just think that's my dream fight. And I don't care what anyone says about it. But anyone else, like I said, anyone can get it respectfully. I just want to fight the best.
If we don't get favorable negotiations, then we can always go to Errol Spence, or we can go to Fundura. So there's a lot of options for Vergil. I know the world wants to watch Boots Ennis versus Vergil, but let's get one thing straight here. Vergil is the man.
Without question. The Vergil Ortiz era started tonight, and I've been saying it for a few days. Oscar and Eric and Golden Boy have picked the right opponents at the right time, giving them the right looks along the way, because they are the #1 promotional company out there. They know how to build fighters and prepare them not to be champions, but to last as champions, and that's why this is the Vergil Ortiz era. And I think, Oscar, you should go ahead and take over Cinco de Mayo's Mexican Independence Day. It's time.
Now, like I said before, I hope I'm wrong this fight doesn't happen. But you heard Vergil Ortiz. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. The fight he wants is Errol Spence in Texas Stadium. That's the fight he wants. Yet, after that, he said he'll fight anybody. That's how they cover it up, right? I'll fight anybody. I want Boots, Terence, Crawford, and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, the fight they want to make is either Errol Spence or Fundora, right? Those are the two fights I'm hearing that Vergil's team is looking to make. Now, Coach Malachi brought this up, and this is a good point. When Jerron Boots Ennis said he wants a tune-up at 154 before he takes on the real competitors, right? We got on him. We were critical of him. I was one of the guys critical of Boots Ennis. And I've noticed they don't have the same energy for Vergil Ortiz, right? He's doing the same thing. He wants to fight Errol Spence, who's been out the ring almost 2.5 years. And there are two reasons why they're doing this. They wanted to fight in Texas Stadium, which will be huge for Texas. They'll probably sell out Texas Stadium. Errol Spence and Vergil Ortiz, it's also a money grab. Another thing is this. Errol Spence took a lot of damage against Terence Crawford, right? So Vergil Ortiz goes in there and beats him up after 2.5 years. What are they going to say? Oh, he beat Errol Spence worse than Terence Crawford did. They're trying to build Vergil Ortiz as the next superstar in boxing. They're trying to make him take over Canelo dates. You heard his manager. Now he can fight on Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day. But he doesn't have the cachet that Canelo had. Canelo had accolades. He was 4-time champion, division champion, 2-time undisputed champion. He had a country backing him. Vergil has none of that. And from what I'm hearing, he couldn't even sell Texas Stadium out against Erickson Lubin. And Oscar De La Hoya is saying Erickson Lubin is top 5 at 154. I don't think so. Actually, I have Erickson Lubin one level above Lima. Yeah, he's been in bigger fights than Lima, but how did he do in those fights? It just sounds like to me, Jerron Boots Ennis, Eddie Hearn was doing that after he beat Lima, that he's the man at 154. Then you got Ortiz, who beat Erickson Lubin, a shot fighter, by the way. And now they claiming he's the cash cow, the best guy at 154. Neither one of these guys have titles at 154. And then the nail in the coffin, why I think this fight's not going to happen right now, Ortiz's team wants $10 million to face Boots Ennis. And Turkey Al-Sheikh's not involved in this fight yet, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But anyway, leave your thoughts and comments below. Let me know what you think about Vergil Ortiz and his team pushing the Spence fight, a guy who's been at the ring for 2.5 years. Beezy, I'm gone.